elementary school that I worked at in Tenleytown, I was teaching drama there, and I happened to know that I could pretty easily get some Shakespeare going there.
I had worked with Tom for a bit, and I knew that the work that we would do with kids would be really fun and exciting, and I'd be surprised every single day.
So yeah, Max and I were talking this morning about how long we've been doing this, and it's like crazy that he's been doing it for 11 years. This is like my 13th year being involved with camp. And I was a camper for, so I guess 9 years or something like that. And then I assistant directed Sasha for 2 years, kind of like learning from him. And then the past 2 years, Max and I have been co-directing the teams together.
I got brought in to work with the camp in like the summer of 2006, I think, to just come and do a workshop. And then at that point in time, like Tom and Hope were kind of like thinking about phasing out of doing this. And so myself and Ashley Hammond were hired to come in.
So really the first time I was involved with this camp, I was given the reins, which was in some respects very exciting because it meant I didn't feel like, oh, I have to follow what has been done in the past with a capital D. I not only make sure that the youth campers are executing their roles in the show well, I also just make sure they are becoming well-rounded actors. Something that I was super passionate about coming into this was sort of the same motto that goes with Shakespeare in the schools, which is our goal is to make Shakespeare accessible and to remind students that it is fun and that being able to access Shakespeare is all about learning tools.
Let's bring in an amazing director. And so Kathleen started coming in and doing workshops. The thing I admire the most about her, there are many, many, many things I admire about her, is that she talks to the teens as if they are colleagues. There is no condescension. There is no, I'm presenting an idea that might seem too complicated. Like she just treats them as fellow artists. And now we have Carl Gold as this music director, and we have now moved forward into putting more and more music into the plays.
One of the things I love most about this camp specifically is that the teens direct the youth campers, and then they're also in the play, so they get to take both an acting and a directing role.
Tom started thinking about these campers who were going to be 12 and 13 and how do we keep them interested. So they'd have add a third week to the 2-week camp. The teens would come in for the first of the third week, and they would work on pulling together
A different play, a harder play,
yeah,
that would just be for them.
Yeah, and it would maybe be one play, or it might draw from a couple different plays and be a mashup.
And meanwhile, the staff would still be in charge of directing the teens, right, and directing the several little selected scenes.
And that happened for a few years, and then the 13-year-olds were becoming 14, 15-year-olds, right? And so then there's how do we up that challenge? And so then the next part was to make them counselor directors and have them direct.
It's actually just recent teens who finished camp who are now directing the teens. So there's less and less directing that the adults are doing, and more directing that the teens are doing.
It was Sasha's idea, and he emailed us during the school year, and was and talked to me about it a little bit at the end of the previous year, and was like, I think you are ready to take on a bigger role. You guys have both been doing it for so long. I think it would be cool if you and Max were in charge of actually directing. I think it was definitely intimidating at first to take on that project, but I think we were ready for the challenge.
I mean, I just wanted to come back to camp. I wanted to stay involved. I wanted to be here. I don't know what else I would be doing with these 3 weeks of my summer. It's been 11 years.
I think one of my main goals has been just to give more agency to the teens, giving them as actors the freedom to be hey, I have this really great idea. There's an environment where I can put it out there and see if I like it or not.
It's definitely a different challenge to direct with someone else, but
yeah,
it's cool to be able to try to incorporate both of our visions for the show, and I think this year we're doing an even better job at it because we have more of a shorthand with each other. Not even just Shakespeare specifically, but UTC in general has helped me be a better team player.
I think it's made me trust myself more. I think, I have become a more vocal person. I trust what I'm thinking and I say it.
This is always the most challenging and the most rewarding 3 weeks of every year.
It's a complicated idea that you and I built something that is you cannot hold in your hand. It's not physical, but we see the mark of the traditions and the legacy. In hindsight, I'm so delighted by every change and every time it evolves, because as you pointed out, it was evolving the entire time we were doing it.